Patricia Heaton's charming personalities and quick wit have consistently garnered praise. She rose to stardom thanks to her role as Deborah Barone on Everybody Loves Raymond. Despite the positive reviews, Heaton dealt with some deeply personal concerns that she preferred to keep hidden. We learn more about her background and the struggles she endured to gain fame and fortune. Growing up in Bay Village with an artistic family brought out a hidden side of Patricia Heaton. She came into this world in Ohio on March 4, 1958. While Chuck Heaton was working as a sports reporter, Patricia Heard took care of their daughter. Even as a young child, Heaton showed an innate gift for the stage. In order to polish her acting abilities, she took part in school plays. After Heaton earned her bachelor's degree in acting from Ohio State University, she moved to New York to follow her acting dream. New York was the birthplace of Heaton's performing career. She was an associate member of the founding cast of Stage 3 and a student of the famous William Esper. All of these things helped propel her to stardom in the off-Broadway world. Heaton struggled to cope with the brutal truths of the acting profession. She had trouble landing regular roles in television and movies despite her rising stardom on stage. But Heaton was rewarded for her hard work with guest spots on hit TV shows including Matlock and 30-something. Deborah Barone's audition for the role on Everybody Loves Raymond was a turning point in her life. The process of casting was far from easy. Because they wanted a more glamorous actor to play Deborah, CBS had different ideas. A divergent view was held by Phil Rosenthal, the show's creator. He thought Heaton's easygoing personality would be perfect for the part. Heaton was cast against CBS's doubts after a test that impressed Rosenthal. As a result of this choice, Heaton became recognized for her depiction of Deborah Barone, and critics gave the play good reviews. Ensuring Heaton's place in television history for generations. In 1996, when the first season of Everybody Loves Raymond debuted, it gained instant popularity in the United States. Showcased on the program were Ray Barone, Deborah, and their 3 children. One thing that made the sitcom unique was the honest portrayal of family life. It used real-life incidents to illustrate conversations between Ray, Deborah, and Ray's tyrannical parents across the street were both entertaining and discouraging. Getting people to notice. The creator of the show, Phil Rosenthal, got his ideas for the presentations from real-life experiences like the writer's life in his own marriage. One reason the show was so well-liked was because it was genuine, letting viewers relate to the characters' quirks and family problems. Disputes about household chores and the difficulties of parenting are only 2 of the many topics covered on Everyone Loves. Raymond used comedy to address serious subjects in a way that was both easy to understand and entertaining to read. The role that Patricia Heaton played as Deborah Barone was one of the reasons the show became famous. Despite the constant upheaval in the Barone family, Deborah remained a steady presence, speaking calmly even when furious. Heaton brought the part to life with an authentic, down-to-earth performance that was both funny and moving. Her ability to convey both warmth and anger allowed fans to connect with Deborah and rally behind her. Everybody Loves Raymond was a smashing success thanks in large part to Heaton's timing and the chemistry she had with Ray Romano. Patricia Heaton brought a light-hearted and generous demeanor to her role as Deborah Barone on Everybody Loves Raymond, skillfully avoiding any attention on her private life. The 9 seasons of the show were incredibly challenging for Heaton and the rest of the production staff due to her 2 pregnancies. The screenplay was unable to accommodate these pregnancies because to Deborah's attitude and the storyline of the show. So in order to hide Heaton's growing baby bumps, the filmmakers had to get creative. To keep Heaton's children under wraps, the show employed a number of deft strategies. A very effective tactic was the employment of props. Deborah was often encircled by huge items while Heaton was pregnant, as attendees would have seen. And regardless of whether Heaton is sitting at a desk, she concealed her growing baby bump behind a kitchen table or a laundry basket, making it impossible to notice. Heaton would use props and wear baggy clothing to hide her ever-changing body. Choosing the right dress was essential for Deborah to maintain her flawless television persona. In order to avoid calling too much attention to herself during her performances, she was highly cautious about what she wore. Ingenious camera techniques precluded full-body pictures, and the video centered on Heaton's face and upper body. Because of the apparel she wore, the viewer was ignorant of her off-screen troubles. Despite the physical hardship of pregnancy, she continued to perform brilliantly. With the same inexhaustible energy and humorous pranks that made Deborah Barone a fan favorite, she manages the obstacles of pregnancy. This illustrates her effort. The fact that Heaton is so determined to keep her private and professional life completely separate is a testament to her respect for the acting profession. It was incredible that she stayed true to herself in the face of adversity. She knew how important it was for the program. By her steadfast dedication, Heaton cemented her place as one of the most reliable and talented actors in television history, and she also ensured that Everybody Loves Raymond ran smoothly. The complicated and multi-layered relationships shown in the films were just the tip of the iceberg when it came to the on-set interactions among the Everybody Loves Raymond actors. Presenting Doris Roberts, Frank Barone, and Peter Boyle as the matriarch of the Barone family, Patricia Heaton was very close to Marie Barone. Viewers felt like they were part of a real family because to these relationships which developed on and off set. Patricia Heaton and Peter Boyle were close friends because they accepted one another's opinions, even though their political views were different. They had several disagreements due to Boyle's liberal views and Heaton's conservative ones. Their interactions demonstrated the actors' professionalism, which helped them to keep their cool despite their differences. Even though they were usually polite and considerate, people would listen to Boyle and Heaton quite a bit. They kept their on-screen chemistry and the set intact by not discussing their political differences at work. Because the figures of Heaton and Boyle were so close to each other, this courteous exchange was vital. The connection between Deborah and Frank, who were the Barone family's daughter-in-law and father-in-law, was the source of numerous comedic situations on the show. Heaton expertly played off of Boyle's tough, no-nonsense personality, which made the family fights seem more natural and fun to watch. Due to their genuine and often amusing off-screen friendship, their on-screen camaraderie was convincing and entertaining, making the program more appealing. Heaton's relationship with Doris Roberts was as important. Roberts played Heaton's friend and teacher, the strict yet loyal Marie, in addition to her role as Heaton's mother-in-law. They were quite close even outside of their time on the program. Heaton held Roberts in high esteem since she was an experienced actor with decades of talent who could be counted on for sound advice and encouragement. Their interplay proved their bond, and the chemistry between Roberts and Heaton amplified the fascination of their performances. The friendship between Roberts and Heaton Boyle had a major influence on the tone of Everybody Loves Raymond. Their real affection and admiration for one another made their on-screen interactions that much more captivating. The interactions between the characters were based on their real-life relationships. For example, Deborah's irritation at Marie's involvement and Frank's stubbornness. As a whole, the group developed closer as a consequence of these ties, and we started to feel more like family than co-workers. The chemistry between Raymond and his co-stars was one of the show's strongest points. It allowed the show to look at the complicated issues within families in a lighthearted and moving way. As one of the most watched sitcoms of all time, the show's tone was greatly affected by Patricia Heaton's relationships with her co-stars. Most notably, Peter Boyle and Doris Roberts. Taking care of your family and pursuing a successful profession in television are two very competing goals. Serving as a cast member on Everybody Loves Raymond was never easy for Patricia Heaton. As a mother of four, Heaton tackled each obstacle that came her way. She subtly changed her performance on a hit TV show while playing the role of Deborah Barone, who had similar problems often, where her determination is on full display. Heather unjuggled her roles as a stay-at-home mom and an engaged member of the cast and crew throughout the show's duration. Because of these two demands, Heaton's days were long and tiring. First thing in the morning, she made sure her children were school-ready. During the night, she would either shoot or drill lines, as proof of Heaton's dedication and hard work. In spite of setbacks, she remained resilient in her professional and personal life. Deborah Barone was based on Heaton's real-life experiences as a mother. Mothers like hers, who juggled their own needs with those of their children, are like Heaton. Deborah, played by Heaton, came across as authentic, which allowed viewers to connect with her, especially moms who could relate to her hardships. Deborah became one of the most endearing TV characters thanks to Heaton's depiction of her profound exhaustion. She is both frustrated and devoted to her family. But Heaton had his share of problems during his tenure on Everybody Loves Raymond. Her 2009 legal predicament began when ex-employee Jennifer Lee sued her for unpaid wages. According to Lee, Heaton broke the law in California by making her work overtime without compensation. Heaton got unwelcome attention because of the case, which was at odds with her innocent on-screen persona. There will always be problems no matter how wonderful your life is overall, even if everything works out in the end. Despite the difficult legal proceedings, Heaton stayed committed to her career. Regardless of her problems off-screen, she kept delivering stellar performances on Raymond, Everyone Loves Raymond. Heaton's professionalism is on full display in the way she keeps her personal and work lives apart. Her admirers and colleagues grew in number as a result. People Heaton knew and things he did in real life had an effect on Deborah Barone. She was familiar with dealing with Ray and Deborah's interactions with their children from her own close-knit family. Heaton was not only grounded in reality, but her compassion and care for Deborah were evidence of her sincere beliefs. Heaton kept her private life under wraps when she was a cast member on Everybody Loves Raymond. With poise and determination, she managed to pull it off. To give Deborah Barone a lot of depth, she incorporated her personal experiences as a mother and wife. Consequently, she rose to prominence as one of TV's most endearing and sympathetic characters. Despite public and private setbacks, Heaton stayed dedicated to her career and family, making her an exceptional talent and true professional in the entertainment industry. With the 2005 premiere of the final season, the whole Everybody Loves Raymond team and cast knew they were bringing a major chapter to a television history book. Phil Rosenthal, the show's creator, was worried that the show's quality may decline if it were renewed for a 10th season. After 9 great seasons, he decided it was time to move on. Patricia Heaton and her co-stars' lives and careers were profoundly affected by this choice, which signified the end of a period. We are all a part of this group. Heaton was one of many who felt the emotional impact of the show's climax. Heaton formed strong relationships with her co-stars over the course of her nearly decade-long role as Deborah Barone, making the prospect of leaving them a disturbing one. With the last recording, she really struggled. Heaton had trouble keeping her emotions in check, despite her reputation for professionalism. Even though she was a seasoned actor, she occasionally lost her voice during dress rehearsal. Because Heaton was so dedicated to the show, producers had to push back the last recording by a week to give her time to recuperate. Having to say farewell to a beloved character wasn't the only reason Heaton loathed the show's ending. The idea of abandoning what appeared to be a second family was also present. Everyone on set and off had spent a great deal of time with the tight-knit crew and cast. At the final curtain call, the actors and actresses said goodbye to their roles and ties. In retrospect, Heaton ranked listening to the final cassette among the most trying times of her life. After the devastating end of Everybody, Heaton's career in music continued unabated. She wasted little time after landing her big break on The Middle, an ABC comedy, searching for further chances to shine. In the 2009 premiere of The Middle, Heaton played Frankie Heck, a caring but overwhelmed mother of 3 from the Midwest. The show's 9 seasons mirror those of Everybody Loves Raymond.